Oh, that's good. They'll come.
3 minutes. Yeah.
That's just
Yeah.
fine.
I love your hair.
Yeah, I just have to get used to it. I have to put on makeup. I'll do it. Not for these meetings, but for the UN. It's
Cool.
going to be a major big deal.
You look so beautiful, my beloved Lena.
It's not getting you out of trouble, so don't give me your soft stuff.
Lasita is here.
Yay! Hello.
Hi, Lasita.
Hi.
Okay, I'm glad.
Hi.
Okay, Tofik,
Hello.
I'm glad that nobody else is here but the three of us, because I have something I want to say to you.
Yeah.
I want you to do those drawings. I want the drawings behind you. And when we go live and we talk about it, I want them to see your talent, because you know me, I don't care. I will say how talented you are. I'll say everything I think about you and all your wonderful qualities, because you really are one of the most wonderful people I ever met. So what we're going to do, you make sure that you just put a little bit about how you feel about saving souls, just from maybe 5 minutes, but more importantly, I'm doing that because I want them to see your work. I love your art. So I think that
Love you too.
I did a very interesting one this morning that I'll show you right now.
can't wait to see it.
It's like they're a bit stronger with
Oh, I love it. Yeah, it stands out
Wow.
a little bit
hand.
more. That's perfect.
Yeah.
If you find a way to put it where everybody could see it without saying anything, then I can actually direct them to look at it.
Yeah.
Lasita, you always make those artwork
She's
in
very-
your files,
creative.
and keep them.
I just am piling them up. I don't do anything
Wow.
with them.
Well, we're gonna start that. She thinks she's not. gonna-
Occasionally, I'm planning
Yeah.
to laminate it and send it to someone, and I did one for you too.
Oh,
So, and
Wow.
I think I showed you at one point, and I will laminate it and like make it strong enough to put it in a package and send it, but I haven't found out how to do that
let
yet.
me tell you why I want you to do this. Because I have a very dear friend. I think you must have met him, Oshri. He's an artist.
Yeah. He's
Okay.
an artist.
Sophie, let me explain this, okay, honey?
Yeah.
He's a real artist. He writes books like I do. But if I drew my own pictures, nobody would buy my book because I have no art talent at all. So he writes books and he has wonderful art talent, but he has illustrators along the way. I want him to see your work. So what I want you to do, since we have this time, because nobody's ever on time here, what I want you to do is not package. I want you to send me pictures of your work and I want to show him what you can do.
Okay.
And
Someone
he
is
knows a
here.
lot of people.
Okay. All right, sweetie. So I did leave another meeting in order to be here. So
Oh,
I'm
great.
happy to see you all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We're always, hi, Sanam.
Hello, sister.
Okay, Sanam, listen, I'm mute. Well, I have to talk to Sanam for 2 minutes.
Okay.
Sanam,
Go ahead.
instead of having 30 people or 40 people for the meeting in December, what they did get ready, because you're not, I don't know if you've ever talked in front of a group this big. What they did is they moved us Lynn's kids to go twice. I have to be there for opening night, but you don't. But that's the night of the flags where they show you the different flags. It's so beautiful. They moved us, I think the date is going to be March 15th, and we will have at least 300 people. I'll be working with the UN kids because he wanted Lynn's Kids and Saving Souls to be featured. Now, you will be talking about volunteering for New York Cares, and New York Cares will have a representative talking about what New York Cares does. And at the same time, give out your business cards, promote, because this is the reason that the title of the conference is Giving So Others Can Be Living. And I'm never just about Lynn. So what I'm doing is I want to get all the people who have worked with me in one way or another. And we could, given the projects that we do, I want all those people to let people see what they're doing.
Did
around
you
the
say
world.
March or December?
Yes, Women's
No more
History
December.
Month.
March.
The biggest time, let me tell you something, the biggest time in the UN is Women's History Month. Thousands of women. Now what happens is there's the roster. I almost
Yes.
died when they told me. I almost couldn't breathe. I said, oh my God. I mean, I thought I was having 30 or 40 people. Now he's telling me to talk in front of 200, but that's okay. I could do it. Or 300. He said, whoever signs up, So this is it for the two of us. We're gonna be working a lot together, Sanam.
Okay.
Volunteerism, you are like one of the most active volunteers I know. I'm a team leader and you're very big on volunteering. And I wanted you, of all the volunteers that I work with, because you're most articulate. And you get very, you're like me. You're like me when I was younger. You get very excited about things. I don't want something that's gonna be like monotone. It doesn't work for me. So we're gonna, you and I will work, before we'll start working in like, it's going on the calendar, on the UN calendar in December when the calendar comes out, and then he'll tell me, but I have to be there for opening day, December 8th. You don't. But I told you, you and I have to be there for December 8th. And then the following, I think it's the 15th, we'll have people who are coming from out of town. Sanam and all the guest speakers. We're going to have Roy Paul from Sensibility, teaching children financial literacy. Roy and I have always partnered. We are going to have, some wonderful, Will, you didn't make the meeting to meet Mr. Will Agee, who,
Sorry,
God's
Sanam, I sent you the video for our
okay,
Saturday
good.
visit. Did you get it?
I believe I did, yes. Mhm.
Okay.
okay, listen, Tofi, let me talk to her about it. Will
Okay.
Agee, who lives in, you gotta hear about this guy, you're gonna love him. Where does he live, Tofi? Will,
He lives in Florida.
Oh,
I'm
okay, no, I
sorry,
thought
in
he-
California, California.
so what he does, this guy is crazier than we are. He does, a project, sponsors all by himself. Nobody, it's not like here where God's Love We Deliver, where it's a nonprofit. He started his own nonprofit there, which is God's Love We Deliver. And he gets movie stars like Denzel Washington to donate. You should see the pictures that he takes on Facebook with all these famous people. They give him money because he sponsors children in Africa to go to school. He does, wait till you see this guy. And I met him through Facebook. Okay, so we have that. That's going to be another group. We have George Hagler, who's a very dear friend of mine. We work for the Public Advocate together. And we're going to talk about shelters in New York and how our next focus for Lynn's kids in January is going to be anything to help shelters. So this is my point. What we're going to do, I'm talking fast because they're going to come in. What we're going to do is we are going to have like my girlfriend's going to take care of this. We're going to have like little tins and they can donate to whatever they want to donate. For Lynn's kids or Saving Souls. But it's important, even if you do a 3-minute thing, talking about what has Saving Souls done for you. With the other people who can't come, like Lasita, we'll do it online, and we're going to feature Miss Lasita and her artwork. Because her artwork is great. So I'm gonna have everybody who can't come, who's our Saving Souls people, who are the most important people in the world to me, and Lynn's kids. My Lynn's kids are gonna do something that every country is gonna sing another song for the United Nations. And we're just gonna go live, or on Zoom, even if they video it, and they're gonna see how many countries I have, like Lynn's Kids Orphanage in Ghana, and it's gonna be unbelievable. So then he allowed me to work with he said you can have as many kids as you want with the United Nations school, with the United Nations school, so now it's some school. So I'm going to be working
I
with,
have.
Yeah.
I have not been there, but I have heard of it.
yeah, well, I might actually drag you with me. I have an idea, so we'll talk about it. It's such a wonderful place to be. I'm going to teach them an African song that I know, and I want them to march in at the beginning singing the song. And that way we're going to rock that. Their conferences are very boring. My conferences are noisy. And this is the way we all get funded. We're going to sell books, which will be pre-autographed for anyone who is a writer. We have a lot of things to cover. So I think that this is going to be, why I love it, because it's everybody who's going to be working with me, and I give a lot of people opportunities. And everybody who has worked with me in the past, who I've seen, has done some good for Lynn's Kids and Saving Souls. It didn't use me, but helped me. I'm doing the same thing for them. This is my time, because it's not only about, everybody knows about Lynn's Kids and Saving Souls. This is going to be giving so others can be living. Now, I'm starting the conference now, Tofik, because if they don't come, they don't come. I don't care. You hear me, Tofik?
Yes, okay, go
Okay.
ahead, go ahead.
Okay, so that's going to be it. It's gonna be a real big, this is not, I don't know, were you ever in the UN, Sanam?
Yes. Mhm.
Were you ever at a conference in the UN?
Uh,
Or did you take a
not
tour?
a major one. Not like, for example, during the
Women's, yeah,
meetings and so forth. But yes. Mhm.
get ready to rock and roll. This is the most amazing feeling. I took a class there because I was in charge of a project called Feeding Minds Fighting Hunger Against
Mhm.
Poverty. And I took my children there. My children were very articulate. And they started talking about why we have to help with poverty. I was so proud of them. And my part of Lynn's kids, Vinud, of course, and from Vinud and I are going to be the ones who are presenting the conference, and we'll be introducing people. And because he does certain projects, you will love them. So we're going to start with some educational programming, and then talking about the things that we do and how we became global partners. My favorite part, that's not going to come in the very beginning. My favorite part is going to be Saving Souls Women's Network. I'm going to introduce somebody who is near and dear to my heart, somebody that I counseled, who was living in a car for months. I am going to show her and how Saving Souls helped her to clean up her acts. Now she has her own apartment. She has a beautiful, and her boyfriend, who is another druggie, well, wonderful, wonderful guy now. He is going to be on video because this is going to be her day, not his. And then in the summer, and he's going to talk about what Lynn's kids did for him. Because I work with his parole officer. I mean, I get around. I don't get paid for any of this, but it's a hot work. It's wonderful, wonderful work. I work with his parole officer, and because we set up activities, he said, I don't know anybody who nonprofit. I don't know anybody who could help me. How do I do this? Because he was very nervous. I said, I got it all carried. I said, as long as you do it. So for Feeding Minds Fighting Hunger, for Hunger Day, he took one of her daughters. He took Samantha, who's like 8 years old. This is a wonderful story. He took her to a soup kitchen, not a soup kitchen. He took her to where the homeless live. Just the two of them. And Kristen was there too because she was taking the pictures. And what touched my heart is to watch this man do it. And I said to him, why did you agree to this project? Because I gave him a choice of projects. He didn't have to do that. I thought that might touch home because he was homeless for so long. And he said, because I know where he's coming from. And I know what I had to do to get my food. This month, with the toy collection, he and his entire family are out there collecting toys. This is a family that who would ever thought that they would have made it? They were on liquid meth. They had a lot of things that were bad. But through the help of guidance and free counseling, because they couldn't afford a counselor, and Saving Souls Women's Network, we were able to get them to get back their self-esteem. I'm working with her on it. She's still not 100% there. He is, which I speak to him every night because we have check-in time. So she'll be right next to me at the UN. She'll a little bit nervous, but I'm going to coach her because I said just meeting her will be, I don't care if I drop dead after I met her, it would be, I would have completion because when I watch this girl come from nothing, I mean, really nothing. How do I explain this? Her family loved her very much, but you know, when you're under drugs, sometimes you don't act the right way. So they couldn't take her into the house. They were afraid. And the difference in her. So now she's starting to counsel. So tomorrow, Kristen and Lynn, I'm very excited, are going to be counseling our newest Saving Souls, male, who is now living in his car, and we're going to try to help him. So I said, I'm not going to do this because Tofik is actually counseling him with his spirituality. He's a dear friend of mine, this guy. He just had some bad things happen. I'm counseling him because he knows he doesn't have an option. He has to be counseled. He don't want anybody to counsel him but me. And I can make accommodations. The most wonderful part of this is that he, during the summer, and it doesn't have to be UN, I might just, you know where I'd like to have it, Sanam? I think I want to have it at All Souls. I'll give them, this is very cheap. And I'm going to have them come and we're gonna go to All Souls Church. And we're gonna have my friend Roy Paul, wait till you see him. He's gonna arrange it. He's a little famous too. He's gonna do a silent auction. We're gonna sell something so that we can actually make money for all these nonprofits that are participating. So last time I did it, I made $1,500. Roy sold a day. It's very funny. A day with Roy Paul. He's, you know, he's very, first of all, he's gorgeous, but that's not it. He's very, very, he's a promoter. Not only is he a promoter, now he's CEO of Sensibility from teaching children financial literacy. I'm so proud of him. And we've been friends for years. This guy was homeless, so I got him a job. I just want you to know. So I believe, not in Lynn, I believe in Saving Souls Women's Network. Because when I got, he said, I'm not going to get a job. Same thing with George Hagler. George Hagler, who is one of the most, because George is a reverend. But you know, you can be a reverend and churches don't pay, especially the small churches. And he said, Lynn, what am I going to do? I have like no money. How am I going to live? I said, I hope you're not asking me because I can't make it either. And it was very, very funny. You know, we talked about it. I said, I can get you a job. So I took him into the public advocate. This has nothing to do with Lynn. This has to do with Saving Souls. Letitia James was a very good friend at that time. I don't speak to her much now because she screwed up libraries. She started closing them and she promised me she wouldn't. But what she did, I said, can you give a friend of mine a job? I said, I'll keep working for you. I volunteered 3 days a week. He is a social worker. So he got a job, he saved himself. He was able to establish himself and he's no longer homeless. So he's a success story in himself. Since that point, George and I meet all the time because we do Lynn's Kids and Saving Souls projects. And everybody that's coming is somebody that you are going to just sit there and say, where did these people come from? They're so exciting. They are all, I have to tell you, I'm honored to know all of them. And Gordon Tapper, who gave us, I expected one room.
Shirley's here.
Who's our coach? That's wonderful. Gordon Tapper, who he's the president of the African Congress of the UN. And that's why, you know, he's dragged me to mosques, he's dragged me to churches, all over. I dragged me to the Bronx. I told him I don't go to the Bronx, I need a passport. And he said to me, you have to come to the Bronx. So I went to the Bronx to teach in schools. And that's it. Okay, so I did enough with Linda. I already gave Shirley can listen to the tape.
I'm not here.
I know you're here.
Hello. Hi, sweetheart. We miss you.
Oh, it's
Okay.
better late than never.
I'm just, may I say what an honor it is?
It's
Okay.
my birthday. I wanted to sleep in.
Oh, happy birthday.
Oh, I
honey.
see.
Birthday.
And I share my birthday with King Charles.
Okay, listen.
Wow.
Ugh.
Only royalty are born on such a day.
That's right. He's also, I
You know
want to tell
what? You know what,
okay,
Shirley?
he's
You
the
are
craziest
more.
person I know.
You are
That's
more important than King Charles.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So Shirley, what you'll do
That's a
is
compliment.
Of
you'll
course,
listen-
it's a compliment. Yeah.
Shirley, you're gonna listen to the tape and you'll see what I said before, because I'm not going over it again, okay? It's not a
Okay,
big deal.
No.
And you know most of that stuff anyway. So I'm just gonna fill you all in on one thing so we don't have to talk about it, and then I'm gonna turn it over to Shirley because I'm exhausted.
Okay.
I was diagnosed with something that it's not defined, but it's like long-term cancer, and the fact that I'm fine. I mean, it's not gonna kill me, but I'm just gonna keep getting it every 3 years because I have such bad DNA. My mother couldn't give me
Strong
millions.
lady. Strong lady.
My mother couldn't give me millions. Instead, she gave me cancer. So every 3 years, something like that will happen. But he's not worried. He said you could live a long and productive life if you follow directions. I always, I can't be bothered. I said to him, he came to talk to me last week. I said, I have work to do, please. I said, is it going to kill
Well,
me?
you might come down in
tomorrow?
front of a bus or something too. So.
He said to me, I said, is it going to kill me? He said, no, it won't kill you. He said, you're going to be equal, but you're just going to go through this every 3 years. I said, I'm not worried about every 3 years. I went through a lot of men and I got through that. I can get through this. That's it. Okay. So today, I must say that I'm very excited that we won the Senate.
I
Um,
know.
I think you
Woo-hoo!
really- So we have our residents experts on voting. Miss Shirley is, we're not going to talk about Christians, and we're not going to talk about your favorite person, Donald Trump. We're just going to talk about voting blue. Okay, don't bring out the Donald. Okay, so I'm
I'll bet
turning.
he's
it
not
in.
feeling real good today.
Yeah, okay, turning it, son of a bitch. Okay, I'm turning the meeting over to Shirley. Let's go blue.
Okay, I had no idea I was gonna speak, so hi,
I
everyone.
told you yesterday, you don't know.
Hi.
No, I don't.
without-
Yesterday was yesterday. I'm 76
go ahead.
today. I only remember now.
Take it away,
Um,
politics.
tried to scramble in my head how I want to start. I'm going to make the assumption that everyone who is here that lives in the United States votes. Because if you don't,
Okay.
Of course.
off.
you
get off this form right now.
do.
I don't
I-
vote when I
Okay,
can't vote.
everybody has a right to
But,
vote. or not.
I said if you, I said
I'm
if
not
you,
a citizen. Yeah.
yeah, if
Oh,
you, I
okay.
said if you're allowed to vote in the United States. We watched this weekend a series of things from World War II through Korean War. And
Mhm.
it was, I'm not going to go on and on, but y'all know that my dad was a career Army officer. He was at D-Day. He was at Battle of the Bulge. And then he was sent to Korea when that conflict started. And he was Medical Service Corps. And 121 men were captured by the Chinese, which broke the Geneva Convention.
Right.
And they were held prison. The ones that survived, the 121 were captured and 19 survived after 3.5 years. I can't imagine growing up with because my dad was crazy and all this other stuff, but you know what? He loved this country and he gave a lot of himself to his country. And when I have somebody say, "Oh, I don't have time to vote," or "I don't know who to vote for," I just
I get that.
I really get upset. It's like you just have no idea. You have no idea what people have sacrificed so that we could go in. And we should have learned from the
Freedom.
well, look what happened 3 years ago, 2 years ago. They were out throwing ballots away and hiding ballots and
Mhm.
making new ballots. We have to vote. Every single person who is a citizen of this country must vote.
So,
I
agree.
almost feel like it should be mandatory, but it doesn't. I'll go get my hair cut in about an hour. And if I ask her, "Did you vote?" she'll look at me and go, "Do you have to ask me that every time there's a vote?" I don't believe in voting. But you believe in spending $20,000 on a cruise, $20,000 on a new Infinity, but you don't believe in taking 5 minutes. I don't say this to her. This is what my head does. It just spins like this,
Yeah.
Don't tell me. My grandpa was, my grandpa was a poor, dirt poor farmer in the Dust Bowl in Oklahoma. And he actually came up with a great Sooner Rush. Came up from Texas, rode his horse and claimed a piece of land up near Muskogee, Oklahoma. And the last time I ever saw him was just before I was going off to college. And I adored him. And he always called himself the judge. He would, when I was getting married and this big, wedding like you have for your sorority and a fraternity and all this. And he called me one day and he goes, "Slim, this is the judge. I need to talk to you about that wedding." He goes, "That's a lot of money that you could use for something else." He said, "You come down here to Muskogee and I'll get Pete to marry you for $1. Pete was the justice of the peace, and he was my grandpa's brother. I asked him in that conversation, I said, "How do you know who to vote for?" This man had a portrait. Can you tell, like that big, one of FDR and one of JFK.
Mhm.
And he said, Slim, you go into that ballot room and you mark Democrat, 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 Democrat. He said, because, and he pointed to FDR, that man saved this family and saved this country. They were starving in the Dust Bowl. And people all over the country said, just let it go to waste. Who cares about Oklahoma and Kansas? And I wish they had let Texas go to waste. He said, he went through this whole thing about how much FDR had done for just his family, giving them jobs, giving them dignity with the CCC programs and the WPA work programs. To this day, I turned 76 today. Thank you. Thank you. And I have never missed voting. Even little
You're right, it's-
votes.
Yeah, it's a privilege.
It is a privilege and hard fought for. And as many issues as I had with my dad for so many other things, I'm way past that when it comes to thinking what he himself sacrificed out there at D-Day, when he was the highest ranking sergeant and his commanding officer was blown to bits right in front of him. And my dad became an officer right there on D-Day. And back then they could keep it just for that. And then to double that up with the service, the torture that they went through in this POW camp. How could you
Leon
not
here.
vote? How could anyone not vote? You don't, only a tiny portion
Right.
of our population goes into the military, goes into war, goes into this or that. But just get off your butt and vote. Because if we don't, we will lose it.
Hi, honey.
Oh, hi.
We have Leah.
Hi,
Yeah.
Leah.
Hi,
Everybody has to
everybody.
Okay, let her.
Great.
she's
I
not
get
good.
really, I'm really
Oh,
passionate about
Look at
this. I
the
just,
sweet lady.
I cannot believe that how, I bet every one of you who are here who lives is a United States citizen votes. I can't imagine that Lynn would let you on the screen.
And I want to tell you something interesting that, and Leah, I just want you to hear this too, because you weren't here for the first part. The first part is all about Lynn's kids in the UN. And you'll hear the recording when Tofi sends it, because I'm not going to go through the same thing. What Shirley is one of these crazy people like me who believes that you should vote. If you can.
Absolutely.
If you're an American. But Shirley, what you don't know is I keep getting these things from Move On, blah, 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 who I think the next president should be. And in every ballot where you have to vote, they say Gavin Newsom.
I know. There's on the front page of the LA Times today, about a third of the page is Gavin Newsom and what he is really going to be doing for the next 4 years. There's a
That's
lot of us out here that want to see him become president.
I would want to see him too. I wouldn't vote for Biden. I don't
He
think he's
has-
strong enough.
He has done so much. This is a massive state. And it's a state that was, when I came out here, do you know, when I came out here in 1968, I didn't know there were mountains
Oh, God.
that you could see.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
know.
know there were mountains. I was driving to my little Pinto to school one day. And I looked in the rear view mirror. It was right after Christmas vacation. And I almost wrecked the car because in my rear view mirror, all I could see were snow-covered mountains.
Oh, God.
It was stunning, absolutely stunning. And let me see if I don't have it in front of me. I was just myself. I had to see a pulmonary function specialist 4 times a year because of the problems I had breathing here. But there was no way I was going to go back. There's just so much more here than that. Today, we had rain for the first time in a couple of years. We had rain this past week. And the mountains are covered in snow.
Oh, I love it. That's
It's
great.
just beautiful.
That's like a miracle.
It is, it is. Now, we need a lot more of that.
Yeah.
You know, that in a couple of years, Gavin has ruled that there will be no new cars allowed in California that
I
are
know, I saw that.
electric. Yeah. And I hear people grumble and stuff. And dude, don't you realize there's 40 million people out here going to choke to death? We absolutely have to clear, and he will do it.
Oh, really?
He will do it. At first I thought he was a pretty boy. How many of you know that who he was married to before?
I can't hear a thing you just said.
Oh, darn it. Can you hear me
I'm
now?
not gonna, I'll let you say it, but yeah. I do know. Mhm.
You know, tell us.
Well, I just call her the shrieker.
That's all right. That's good. I saw her in person.
Maria
I saw her
Shriver?
in person at the Reagan Museum because I was a vendor there. I saw her. She's a real bitch.
Okay.
Do you all know who we're talking about?
Are you talking about Maria Shriver?
No, God,
What
no.
are you talking about?
No, Donald Trump. Jr.
Kimberly Guilfoyle.
Kimberly.
He was married.
He
to
was
Kimberly
married to her.
Who wasn't he married to?
No, Gavin Newsom. He's only been married twice.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Donald Trump. That's why.
Oh no, no.
Okay, so the thing that I find interesting about this Go Blue and how it's turning out, everybody, my point and the thing that I love is that everybody who he endorsed wound up going down the tube. So what does this say about him?
Oh, I think he's.
The
I
Carrie
think he's
Lake,
the end of being burned. The piece
What
of
did you
cake
say,
is almost
Lisa?
gone.
I want to hear what
the
Lucinda has.
Carrie Lake
Yeah, how do you like that?
hasn't been decided yet, and she's
What?
really a problem.
No, they decided that very early. I heard it early this morning.
This morning, for
It-
sure.
what,
The
Carrie
Democrat.
Lake?
For the
Yeah.
governorship, right? Yeah.
She lost it. Oh, good.
Yeah,
Carrie Lake
I'm not,
lost.
I know it was gonna be
6 o'clock.
very
this morning.
hard for the Republican candidate.
What about Herschel Walker?
That's not till December. That's when the runoff will be.
You
Who
know
would
what?
even think of voting for this
Oh,
idiot?
no.
What
There
did you
was a
think
comedian
of
on
the
a couple
fact
of nights
that
ago, and he said Herschel Walker.
Okay,
He goes,
yeah.
he can't even walk out the door saying the right words.
Oh, I love that. I
Oh,
love
he's
that.
an
Okay,
idiot.
so now tell me what you were saying.
Oh, sure. Well, what I was thinking and wanted to get your guys' opinion because for example, in Georgia, the Senate race was pretty close. And I mean, honestly, at this point, there may not be enthusiasm if it's not hinging on the control of the Senate, but who
Right.
knows? But if you look at several states, the Senate was for the Democrats, but the governorship went for the GOP in some of the states.
No more
including-
Mitch McConnell.
What's that?
I said Mitch McConnell is no longer has the job that he had.
And it's interesting. There was like, yes, and I'm wondering because, it's not a money problem in the sense of fundraising. I think both camps, but it's
Oh.
also about how they spend their money.
Yeah.
As well. So that was interesting to me. Again, I love like well, first of all, I think honestly, and I don't know why we believe polls anymore, but I'm guilty of it too. I'm like, oh, come on, there's when it's so big and everything and such a wide margin that's projected, like why would you think otherwise? And also I think it's about turnout as well. And
People didn't want reds. That's why
That's-
there was a good turnout.
I'm sorry. It's one of the things that will make my heart just start to cry. I like to go in person and vote. That's
Yeah, of
I-
course.
I do too.
It's much more important to me to vote that way. I don't care how other people vote, but I like to stand in the line and then proudly cast my vote because of all those who went before us who couldn't do that.
Okay. Good.
And yeah.
There's
this
just
is-
something about it. Yeah.
I know,
mean,
it's-
you know,
It's
yeah.
a feeling of privilege. It's, you go to
Mhm.
vote, how, there are so many countries that don't have this. Well, look, all my camps are in Africa, most of them. And I speak to them, they don't get it, especially women. Some men can vote and women can't.
I know.
So, that's really not like voting either, because when you take it away from anybody,
No,
it's not a
it's,
good thing.
well, and now we can move to the next thing about abortion. This
Well,
really
we're not-
did.
It's about voting.
No,
We're not
but
doing it. Okay.
but
So
that
for
was
some-
on the ballot, Lynn.
So that, and that's what got it for us, because there, so many people were so upset with what the Republicans did for abortion.
They
Sanam
didn't
and
think that
Sophie,
it was gonna be, they
right.
thought it would be the economy, but it actually ended up being about the abortion issue more than
Exactly,
I think. most people
absolutely.
thought. Yeah.
right. Sanam and Tawfiq,
Yes.
a day after we have the UN meeting, we are going to protest. We are going to protest at the Iranian embassy.
Yeah.
If I can still stand up, and if I feel well enough, otherwise we'll all do it anyway, because we'll have a lot of
And you know
people.
what? And you
What
know
they're
what?
doing to the women.
Why?
You know what? Things are getting worse in
They're getting
Iran.
worse.
That's
More
why we're
people
doing it.
are killed, and
My
It's horrible.
brother and
Yeah.
his wife taught school for 3 years in Isfahan, Iran.
Mhm.
And the Shah was still in power,
Yes.
and the women were free, and they didn't have to cover up their heads and their bodies. And you know, he fell in love with the food. They were American teachers. They were teaching kids whose parents were over there working for the oil companies. What's left now is just hideous. To kill a woman because she doesn't have a
It's
scarf
terrible.
on her head.
Well, we talked
It's-
about this last week. It's a
Well, I
terrible.
wasn't here last week.
Yeah, I know, but I'm telling you, it was wonderful. We had a very in-depth thing. Look, I don't feel good and I can't stay on any longer. I haven't gotten any sleep in 3 days. I'm
Oh,
very
no.
nauseous and dizzy.
Oh,
All part of the
honey.
cancer thing. So I love you all. I wanted to make this a fast meeting. If Tawfiq, you want to keep talking to everybody, you can, because I have to go to sleep.
yes,
Gotta
just
take care of you.
one second.
I can't, I have to
Shirley.
go off, Sophie. I'm sick.
Yeah, sure, baby. I'm
I'm
talking to Shirley. You can go.
Island,
sweetheart.
Yeah.
stay healthy, all right?
Yeah,
Love
Get
you,
Get some
Lynn.
sleep, Lynn. Get lots of sleep.
yeah,
Love
sure.
you.
This
Yeah,
is your
please.
time to let Tofi take care of you.
Sure, we do.
Love you.
Yes.
Love
And
you,
this
Lynn.
lady is the strongest lady you
I know.
can imagine the world. And everyone see
that.
her active, she writes, she communicates, and many of them don't know that she's having a hard pain, but she never complains.
No,
She just make things happen. I love you, sweetheart.
I love her too.
Oh yeah.
I love her too.
Okay, Shirley, I'm
That's
preparing
unified,
some-
right?
Yeah, I'm preparing something for you. You can, Lasita or Namaste, you can keep talking and give me 1 minute. I'm preparing something special for my sister Shirley.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen Shirley or Leah actually on the camera.
they are
for a
there.
while.
Well, can I tell you all what's happened?
Yeah.
Please,
My brother,
yes.
Yeah.
who, we're definitely Welsh.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And I've been sober now. On January 2nd, I'll be sober for 37 years. My brother got in a lot of trouble, which I've never shared with you all. He lost his teaching job, he lost his marriage, he lost his children in terms of emotional attachments. He wasn't here to be with my mom when she died. He was incarcerated
Yeah.
for a couple of years. He moved out here. The reason we bought the house that we have now is because we knew Jim was going to come out here and live, but we didn't want him to live inside our house. We wanted him to have his own autonomy. So we have a little tiny, I can't call it an apartment. It's just like a little studio thing, and we fixed it up as best we could. And he's lived there since 2003, and he's been so happy over the years. Every year he just got better and better. He got a little dog that he was madly in love with. And unbeknownst to me, he started drinking again.
Oh,
And
my
in May, I was getting in my car, and he started walking up the driveway, and he fell flat on his face. And when I ran out to help pick him up, there was just blood all over his face and head. And I said, "You're getting in my car and you're going, I'm taking you to Kaiser right now." 70% of his blood was alcohol.
geez.
It's unbelievable. And he now has what they call wet brain dementia.
Oh dear.
If you've never heard of it, it's exactly what it is. Your brain is just soaked with alcohol.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been out of the hospital or a nursing home since May 25th.
I'm so sorry.
He's
Yeah, it was
delusional.
here, baby.
He's delusional. He's just
Oh,
in
dear.
fact, he asked me last week. I walked in and he said, "Oh, did you bring the pizza? Because we got to get over to Iran real quick. We got to drive." And I said, "Jim, we can't drive to Iran. You have to cross the ocean."
Oh.
But that's kind of where he is right now. And it's just it tore me up, and then it just made me stronger. I just have to accept this and be there for him.
Mm,
I could kill him. It's the
We're
family
praying.
disease.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry.
I
So
know
sorry
it's,
to
and
hear
it runs in the genetic weaving of
Yes.
the Welsh. I know in other nationalities too, and it does in Wales. Maybe maybe King Charles is an alcoholic. Camilla stands him up with a
that. You mentioned King Charles what? What's up? You
What?
have mentioned King Charles.
I
Well, his
have,
birthday is today.
yeah,
He and I share
Okay.
a birthday.
I have
Okay.
seen sometimes when I used to look at pictures of him, he was really red in the face and his
Mm.
nose was really red. And I
Really?
thought,
Yeah.
he's got an alcohol problem. It's
Yeah.
obvious.
Ah.
Yeah. You
doesn't
can see,
surprise me.
can't you, with the redness, the
That's-
the
I'm
veins
very-
broken, the
Yeah.
capillaries, and
So that's what's been
Yeah.
going on and why I haven't been here.
I'm so
It's-
sorry.
It has been, he's been in
Very tough.
1, 2, 3, 4 hospitals, all Kaiser. He's been in 2 homes that were supposed to be nice room and board type homes. And the second one, I found out that he was being beaten.
Wow.
And so I didn't want them to know I was coming. My brother his normal weight was 165, maybe, real athletic. If he weighs 120, that's the maximum he weighs now.
Oh.
He's literally skin falling off of his bone.
Mm.
They had left him. They had failed to put up the guardrail on the bed. He
Mm.
fell out and was lying on the floor the whole night in wet, dirty diapers.
Oh, Jesus.
And I found out, and the next day I drove over there. I didn't call them. In fact, when I walked in the door, they said, "Well, you didn't call us first." I said, "You're damn right I didn't." I said, "And the Torrance firefighters are right behind me." And in comes these hunk of firefighters, and they're like, they just couldn't believe the condition of my brother.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so we finally got him into, nothing is long-term. You've got to pay out the nose if you want it to be long-term, but if we can keep moving him around, then somehow or another it gets taken care of. But he didn't even know what was happening. When they got him to the hospital, there were marks on his back where they had beaten him.
That's horrific. That's
It's
horrific.
just unbelievable to me. Absolutely unbelievable. I don't have time to file a lawsuit. My time has to be for him.
Yeah.
But boy, it's been a year, and when it started last summer, I couldn't have talked to all if I wanted to. I couldn't stop crying. I just couldn't believe this damn disease ate another member of our family.
That's horrific.
It did, and there's not going to be any coming back from this. He's going to be like this pretty much the rest of what he has left to live.
Yeah.
So anyway,
terrible.
that's why I haven't been here.
Well, good God.
Well, so how is he right now? He's still in this shape?
He's not in
or-
good shape, Tofi. He's in a
Oh.
good place.
Yeah.
It's a more of a nursing home type. Really great. The problem here is we don't have we don't have free medicine. We have Social Security, we have his teacher's retirement. He has he's with Kaiser, which is pretty low. It's a great network. I have to say, I used to hate Kaiser, but they've really been great to him. They've really been great with him.
Mm.
But I don't think he'll ever come back from.
Mm.
It just my stepdad used to say we just loved him. His name was Jack, and he became our stepdad when we were both in our mid-20s when my mom remarried. And he would say, that boy, he is the smartest boy I've ever known, and the dumbest. And that's
what we love in you, Shelley, is that you are likely, you are still making jokes, you're still smiling, and this reflects your braveness, your strongness, and Lynn too, my beloved Lynn.
well,
So this is the right way to fight any hardship. And I'm
you got to get through
proud-
the pain first.
yeah,
Shock,
yeah.
the pain. I was
Yeah, and-
so shocked when my brother
Yeah.
moved out here. We were going through, it's your place, it's your place, it's your place. We're not
Yeah.
going to bother you or anything. I said, Jen, there's only one rule.
Yeah,
And I said, it's for me and for you. And he said, well, what's that? And I said, no alcohol, no drinking of any
Wow.
kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
alcohol. And he said, what? I said, how do you think you ended up in all this trouble? And he walked outside, went over to his little place, and he came back, and this is how bad it is. He goes,
Come here.
well, what about wine?
Oh,
yeah.
jeez.
Oh my
Doesn't he
God.
know anything?
Well, of
Yeah.
course he does. And
I know
by
he
the way,
does, but I mean, didn't he learn anything from any of his?
no,
No.
no, alcoholism will take over your entire life.
Mm.
I can't tell you how many times I've gone to see him, and he has whispered, can you bring me a bourbon?
Yeah.
Here he is with most of his mind gone, and he's still asking me for a bourbon.
Mm.
This is my first experience with this. I've not been around anyone in my family that's had dementia. I think my grandma had it, but it was from a stroke, and then she died shortly thereafter. But my brother,
Yeah.
he became a grandpa
So-
last year. Well, Vivi will be 2 in February, and he still hasn't seen his one and only
That's very sad.
granddaughter.
He has kids, he has a daughter, son.
Where are you, darling?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. He has his own kids.
I'm sorry.
He has his own kids, daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
His daughter Cody is 40.
Yeah.
She'll be 41 March the 12th. And his daughter Shannon is 36. She's the
Oh.
mother of the baby. And that's it. There's Shannon and Cody. Shannon married I remember when she told me we were at the Oklahoma UCLA game at the Rose Bowl 3 years ago. And
Yeah.
she said, that was our first chance meeting John. And she said,
Yeah.
he's a gas and oil attorney. which, just, I said, I know, but you know what? He's so smart. He'll be able to quickly move over into renewables and do energy. And she goes, oh, that's right, he will, won't he, Shirley? What are you gonna say? You're in gas and oil? You're killing our country. But no, there's just the two kids. I never had kids.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And they are still in touch with you through him.
Oh,
They
yeah,
visit their father. They come to
I
him.
talk to Shannon every day. His ex-wife has even become involved again. She, they met when they were 13 and 14. And they were
Okay.
divorced when he turned 50. They traveled hitchhiked all over Europe and part of the upper northern Africa, Morocco, I told you.
Yeah.
And they ended up getting jobs in Isfahan, Iran, teaching school for the Americans, the American workers that were there, their children. And they got caught in the revolution and they were under house arrest for like 3 weeks.
Wow.
And then a soldier came to these 13 teachers and said, you've got 30 minutes. There's a plane out there for you. Get on it. And if you don't make it, you're ours.
Good God.
And they got on it with the clothes on their back and their cat Silverberry. And there was a big picture of them in the one of the Oklahoma papers. And Jim and Suzanne and their cat Silverberry actually made it out of Iran.
Out of Iran.
They had an amazing life, just absolutely amazing. And but the marriage also broke because of alcohol.
Oh my
So,
God.
That just
It's a very sad illness to have.
Yeah.
it is, and it's not. It's not. I've been sober so long now. I didn't drink that long. I really didn't. I was afraid to drink, and I didn't like the taste of alcohol. But once I went down the road, I couldn't stop until I finally nearly died and said, that's it. So a little bit more strength maybe than my brother has. But I swear to be in the hospital and nursing homes this long and to say, can you get me a bourbon? It's pretty frightening.
Oh,
It's
Like,
scary.
oh dear God. Yeah.
But,
So,
I told you before that I also have alcoholic brother,
yes.
and he went to hell not only for him but the whole family.
Yeah.
He started drinking at the age of 14. He was a brilliant student, and the bad company of friends, took him off from 14 to, he just cut off drinking maybe 6 years ago.
That's
And I
great.
understand what you, yeah.
Do they have AA programs in Morocco?
Yeah, they have.
There's
it.
there
Absolutely.
AA all
Yeah,
over
they
the
have.
world.
But not everyone is involved with that. Such for people who had the kind of money, It's
Oh.
for middle and high, because it's private. It's the state, the administration.
No,
doesn't
AA
get
is
any-
free.
He's
AA
free
is-
now, thanks God.
It's totally
He's
free. It's
come-
not sponsored by
Yeah,
anyone.
But I only tell you that we suffered a lot. Everyone of the family, my dad, my mom, all of us, we still now. You can imagine what he did, and we did first to himself. Then now he's safe, thanks God. And I know what you are speaking about, brother.
It's something.
I will leave in 5 minutes if someone can say anything. And by the way, yeah. Anyone will add something because, yeah.
Wanted
Anyone
to
will add
just
something?
very quickly ask Leah how
Yeah.
how her children are doing.
Oh, what a nice question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, Lynn.
My my oldest daughter
Yeah.
is absolutely doing fabulously for her.
Oh, yeah.
She has a girlfriend. and they like to hike and in beautiful places. And she still works as a physicist in Oxford, but that's just her job. You know, her heart is with the hiking and her girlfriend. She's always been a family person, you know. She likes that's the important thing to her.
Yeah.
And she's happy, and it makes me so very happy to see her.
That really is. Are we done? Oh,
I just want to say my
This is
other
for you,
daughter.
my sister. This is for you.
What you put up on the
Yes,
screen?
we love you. Yes.
Except, Tofi, I ain't gonna get pregnant.
You know what does mean this pregnant? I choose it for a purpose.
No, it's
You're pregnant. You are
adorable.
pregnant of love,
Oh,
of care of your brother. You are still procreative. I mean, even we all are getting older. You are in your 60s or 70s.
70,
These
76.
babies are your love and care for everyone. And this is why I put a pregnant woman. Pregnancy
You're gonna make me
means
cry.
life and giving others. You give babies and you give your love to everyone. We love you.
And a
And
lot
you
of
do.
cats too.
Oh yeah, sure.
There are more
But
ways to be a mother than
doesn't
to have a
make
child.
money doesn't make
No.
happiness, but
If money made,
yeah.
I worry about money because, you know,
We
that's part of
all
it's
we
my
all
nature.
wo-
But
yeah, we all worry
truth
about
is
money.
that
No one
Frank and I
no
were married 34 years
yeah.
last month, October the
Yeah.
8th.
Yeah.
And we rarely
Yeah.
go out. We're stay at home because we both work and then we stay at home.
Okay. Yeah.
And we went to a really neat little place overlooking the bay of Long Beach.
Yeah.
And we were just saying that, you know, we never go out to eat. We just we stay at home, but that made it more special to
Yeah.
go that day, to go
Mm.
out to eat.
Yeah.
Because we don't do it every weekend. You know, we're not with the brunch crowd and all that.
Mm.
Mm.
You know, it takes very little really to be happy.
Mhm.
I
I'm so
noticed
glad for you.
Lasita asked Leah something, so we can close. And yes, Lasita, Leah, you're still there. Lasita want to say you something. You're there?
And the daughter in Australia, how's she doing?
Yeah.
And the
Very,
grandchild.
very beautifully. Again,
Yeah.
we're extremely fortunate time,
Oh.
and I'm so pleased
Mhm.
just to see, you know, how it was, you know, to feel
know-
that you.
You know, Lasita, she had her grandsons
Mm.
from Australia for almost 4 months. They flew to UK and she enjoyed time with them. Right, Leah?
I did 3 months. 3 months.
3 months. Wow.
It's a grandson and then a granddaughter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phoebe.
Okay, ladies, Lynn needs help. So we say hello and happy birthday. We say bye-bye and happy birthday, Shirley. You are always pregnant and you will keep being
Yes.
pregnant. Love
Thank
you
you.
all.
Happy birthday and
Love,
many more.
peace
in
and
You're
love.
all of our mothers. You are the mother of all of us.
Oh,
Sure. Hey, she's not old.
I'm
She's
just
a
grateful.
mother.
You know what?
She's a
I'm so
sister.
grateful to be here and watching my brother
Yeah.
go down like this. Because I've been sober so long now. I mean, I think I only drank for about 4 or 5 years and it just
Yeah.
took me down.
Yeah.
But I'm so grateful
Mhm.
that and watching my brother go through this, part of me is that surely that there but for the grace of God go you. That could have been me. I could be the
Yeah.
one in the hospital, but my
Yeah.
mom always said you have a strength in you that Jim doesn't have.
Yeah.
And I, you know, whatever, it pulled me through, and that's yeah. I
Okay,
love all of you.
I
I've
must
missed you
close now.
greatly.
Love you. You can stay if you want. I must close now. Have a good
No,
day.
you gotta
and love
take
you
care of
all.
Lynn.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You know what?
Lovely
If
to
you
see
wanna
you
stay,
all.
listen, I would put what we call a leave meeting and keep it to another one. You can stay. So I'll leave it to Lasita, okay?
No, I think we're all willing to say bye, aren't we?
Bye. Was that your message that you just sent?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes, understood.
yeah,
Yeah.
I understood it. Yes.
me too.
You
Yeah.
guys are quite strong.
Goodbye.
And may
Love
Herschel
you.
Walker walk off and just disappear off the face of the earth. I want
Okay.
him
Oh,
buried.
Raphael
Bye-bye.
Warnock is such a good man. Yeah.
Oh, my God, I worked on his campaign.
Uh-huh.
For his first job, I did out here, I did telephone calling to
Uh-huh.
Georgia. If we've got something sewed up here, you get
Yes, we
tons
do.
of people who volunteer to get on the phone and start saying,
Yeah.
hey, hi, my name is Shirley and I'm calling to ask you to consider voting for Reverend Ralph Warnock. The only time I ever had anybody ever say anything to me that was really bad was when Barack was running the first time in 2008. And I called, we were in this big union hall and somebody said, oh God, I've got to call someone in South Carolina. I don't want to call somebody in South Carolina. I said, I'll do it. So I called and the guy, I said, hi, my name is Shirley and I'm calling on behalf of Barack Obama. And he goes, that I can't even say the word.
Don't.
You know what he said.
Yeah.
He goes, girl, I'd never vote for that. And I'm just like, oh my God. That's why I live in California. But no, I love volunteering and Reverend Ralph. I mean, I don't even know how they could compare the two. This Warnock is just,
He's a good man. Yes. So let's all have a group
Yeah.
hug. Hug, hug, hug.
Group
hug,
hug.
hug, hug, hug. Love to all of you.
Well, and stay strong, everyone, all right?
Thanks.
Yeah.
Take care. Nice to
Yeah,
see
that's what we
you.
have to.
Amen.
Where are you with all these beautiful fall colors?
I hopefully in your heart. In your
You
heart.
are.
That's where I am.
First, you're in my heart.
in my heart.
I grew up in Connecticut, so I love the fall. So
Oh,
that's
me
the,
too. Well, I was born in November. I love the fall.
Mm. Mhm.
We were stationed in Maine for 1 year, and
Wow.
that was really, really a rough winter for us because we'd never been through anything like that. But
I've
the
heard that even in the summer, and it's a
Oh.
beautiful place to visit. In the
it is
summer, you never-
gorgeous. And
yeah,
the
absolutely.
fall is beyond belief.
And they
and
say
here
it
comes the
doesn't get
snow.
warm enough to swim. I don't know if that's true, but I guess that's
Mm.
a preference, but cause like, wow, okay, maybe now, it's getting better, but
Well, probably. I mean, everybody's warming up, so
yeah.
it's Maine.
May we all be blessed.
Well,
May
and
we love to each and
Goodbye.
every one of you.
take good care. Be well, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
I love your pink glasses.
Thank you,
They're
darling.
so cute.
Enjoy your birthday. Have fun.
Thank you. You guys already made it. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Grateful to be here.
Lovely. I'm grateful too.
Yeah,
Great friends. Bye-bye.
yeah, yeah. Bye bye.
Bye.
Ciao, Bella. Bellas.